done before in the past 74 years of the bilateral ties that the Republic of India and the Democratic Republic of Sri Lanka enjoy with each other. Number one on the agenda is, of course, the Trincomalee Energy Hub, the trilateral that is going to be built between Sri Lanka, UAE, and India. Now, there is a lot of excitement over there, keeping in mind that the idea is to create Sri Lanka, make Sri Lanka into an energy hub. And there is going to be a government-to-government collaboration that takes place, where the Indian government, the UAE government, and the Sri Lankan government are going to work together to allow for assistance programs, engagements to take place, and monitor all that is happening, to allow for businesses to come together and utilize this opportunity to manufacture energy, renewable energy, and not just manufacture it for subsistence in Sri Lanka, but also to export it. This is going to allow for sustainable growth for the country. This will allow for green energy production and export, and it's going to organically help in bringing Sri Lanka out of the economic misery that it has been facing for the past 3 years. The number two point of discussion that had been spoken about at length in the past as well was about the framework on the defense cooperation, or the framework that has been, the foundation stone of the framework that has been decided in the MOU that has been signed is about Sri Lanka time and again reiterating that its nautical miles, its maritime seas are not, maritime territory is not going to be used against India, against activities against India, which are then going to be inimical to the sovereignty of the country and the sovereignty of Sri Lanka as well. So this had been a long-standing concern that India had been raising with Sri Lanka, especially in wake of a number of these commercial and surveillance vessels that had been docked in the Indian Ocean region on the Sri Lankan port by the Chinese. And this is for the first time ever that an MOU has been signed, despite the fact that statements have come from Sri Lankan officials and the Sri Lankan government that they will not allow for docking of such ships in unauthorized, unwarranted manner. But this is the first time that things have been put out in written, and MOU has been signed in this regard. Besides that, of course, debt restructuring, India has again promised there is going to be, there is going to be further restructuring of the debt which India had paid to Sri Lanka to the tune of $4 billion during the time of its need. And the question and what has been decided is that there are going to be further rate cuts. So what are the interest cuts that are going to be brought in by India is going to be a point of discussion. But right now, what we have learned is that there's an interest cut that takes place. With the government of India ensuring that, it will be easier for the government of Sri Lanka to pay back the amount that had been loaned by India in terms of line of credit bit by bit instead of the bigger chunks. Okay, and then on top of it, I'm also going to, Tom, reflect about the energy grid, the Sampur solar plant, the groundbreaking ceremony that took place in the virtual inauguration that was conducted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Dissanayake. Again, a push forward towards sustainability and energy hub creation for Sri Lanka in Trincomalee. Besides that, there has in fact been,
Yes.
about the fishermen issue. So that has been, of course, a long-standing issue. This is with regards to a number of Indian fishermen in Tamil Nadu who have been exploring the seas which are the special economic zones of Sri Lanka and fishing over there, trolling over there, which Sri Lanka has taken objection to. A number of these fishermen have been arrested, they have been detained, their boats have been captured, and a pragmatic view has been taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he speaks about how a humanitarian approach and a constructive approach needs to be carried forward, which means Sri Lanka has already announced after that meeting that 11 fishermen will be released by the Sri Lankan authorities, and in the coming days many more of such actions will follow, which means more of those detained fishermen from Tamil Nadu will be released. So all in all, this is a very successful, strong, constructive development that has taken place in terms of bilateral trade ties between both the countries. Never before have Sri Lanka and India seen a fillip in their trade ties and fillip in their bilateral ties as it has been today.
Megha, I just want you to talk briefly about the meeting between both leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Thessaloniki. They both obviously gave speeches very flattering towards each other and their respective countries. What can you tell us about that?
It's important to understand the historical and civilizational ties between India and Sri Lanka. And even before, the countries became independent from the colonial rule, 74 years. Sri Lanka, it happened in 1948. India, it happened in 1947. They have shared, the cultures, the food, religion, trade, all of that has been shared between both the countries for centuries together, and there is history to substantiate that. There are documents, manuscripts to substantiate that. There is a thriving Tamil community that lives in Sri Lanka, and therefore that connect cannot be denied, even if one might want to deliberately would do that, and especially this bonhomie and cooperation and a feeling of endearment and a feeling of gratitude and thankfulness that comes from the Sri Lankan government and President Dissanayaka is the fact that at the times of the extremely difficult times that Sri Lanka has had to face, whether it was in 2019, the Sunday Easter attacks that took place, the terror attacks over there, or we talk about right after that COVID hit the world, and India was there to support Sri Lanka. India again being the first responder, neighborhood policy first is what the government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been following to the hilt, and there was financial aid, humanitarian aid, there were makeshift hospitals that had been built at that point of time. There were oxygen masks that had been provided, pharmaceuticals, medical equipment. So India practically allowed for Sri Lanka to be safeguarded from the devastation that COVID had hit the subcontinent and across the globe as well. And then right after 2022, when the economic slowdown that struck Sri Lanka, had it not been for India, it would have been Sri Lanka would still be reeling under the economic crisis that at this point of time it is now on the path of an opposite trajectory, which is the path of recovery. So that was very apparent. That was very, very visible in the way President Dissanayaka accorded that big honor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he presented him the Mitra Vibhushan Award, which is the highest honor that Sri Lankan government accords to any foreign dignitary, which is to honor them with the honor that you are in solidarity with the country and the people of Sri Lanka.